So you want to be a graphic designer in 2025, or you want to continue your design journey? Let me ask you this question. Do you know where to start? By the end of today's video, you'll have a clear step-by-step process or path, one that not only gets you started but sets you up to thrive in this ever-changing world of design, as well as some pro tips I haven't heard people mention here on YouTube before. The first thing you need to know is that in 2025, it's not just about knowing the tools, it's about mastering the mindset as well. But here's a little secret that not many people are talking about. Now, you don't have to be an expert to create impressive and good graphic design. You simply need to understand a few key things. Step 1, and I cannot stress this enough, is to learn the design principles. And no, I don't mean memorizing definitions. I mean actually learning how to see them at play on actual designs. And that's so you can then easily apply them to your own work. So, have you ever heard of the rule of thirds, balance, or hierarchy, and so on? These are the foundations of any effective graphic design, and they should not be overlooked. On screen now is a list of the design basics that you should first research and then try to find on actual designs. So perhaps pause the video and scribble them down somewhere, or just take a screenshot. Now I have 2 pro tips that are going to speed up the process of learning and also mastering the design principles. Now, apart from making use of excellent videos here on YouTube such as my own, simply go into ChatGPT and ask it to explain each graphic design principle with a real-life design example to illustrate it. This gives you a clear definition, but also it shows you how it can be applied on real designs. From there, you can head over to somewhere like Pinterest or Behance and search around for relevant examples. For example, you can look at poster designs to see contrast being used on an actual real design. So the longer time and the more familiar you become with the design principles on actual designs, the more your design awareness is going to grow. Step 2 is choosing your tools. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Which software should I start with? Adobe, Figma, Procreate? Here's the truth. The tool doesn't make the designer. You could have the latest, fanciest software, but without understanding how to use it strategically, it's just another shiny little object. So step 1 is to learn and know the basics of design structure inside out. And the second step will allow you to put those skills of basic principles into actions on actual designs. And like with anything, at first you will feel clumsy and slow when using the software. But the longer you spend time on it, the more natural and more easy it's going to become. And the pro tip here is to not jump in and try and learn 4, 5, 6 programs all at once. Just start with 1, or maybe even at a stretch, 2. So look at what part of graphic design you're drawn to the most and learn the relevant programs for that thing. So if you're someone who likes the idea of logo design, that would be Adobe Illustrator or perhaps Affinity Designer. And if you're someone who's working more on motion graphics, then it would be something completely different again. But it's always great to know how to use a raster-based program such as Photoshop and then a vector-based program such as Illustrator. If you can use one of each pretty comfortably, you are basically fine to get to work on most projects. Step 3 is to study the greats. Find designers you admire, look at their work and ask yourself, what makes this design work? It's like a reverse engineering magic trick. Now it helps not just to admire, but to imitate. Take those designs and recreate them in your own style and in your own personal time, and not for any client projects. Because only when you can recreate something do you truly understand how it was built. And again, for this, I would suggest coming into ChatGPT and asking it to reverse engineer famous graphic designs and explain how and why they work. It is an insanely huge learning resource that not many people are making use of right now. Step 4 is to start building a portfolio, even if you think your work isn't good enough just yet. And here's the thing, no one starts with masterpieces, and those first projects are going to be rough around the edges, that's for sure. And also that's completely okay. Keep them as a benchmark for your progress. Each project you add in is a step forward. And I promise you, looking back at your early work 6 months from now will make you realize just how far you've come. I also suggest that you should spend time to build a presence online as a designer. This has never been more important and crucial than it is in 2025. Oh, and there is a twist. Your portfolio isn't just for clients, it's for you, and it's a place to experiment, to fail, and to grow. And when you treat it that way, you'll be surprised how fast you actually do evolve as a graphic designer. Now, the final step, and it's one a lot of beginners overlook. Find a community. Whether it's online, forums, local meetups, or design groups on social media, getting feedback is essential. That's what a real designer does. They put themselves out there and they learn and they grow. But here's a little tip that you will want to remember. Do not just ask for feedback. Learn how to also give feedback too. Because when you can critique someone else's work properly, it means you've developed the eye for design that you're going to need in your career. And no, don't be overly confident that you have all of the answers, and also don't be mean. Try and see why a design works and why it doesn't work. Perhaps a design lacks enough white space, which makes it confusing and cramped, ultimately leading the design's message to not being effectively communicated. But there might be a clear consistency of design style throughout, as an example. And when it comes to starting or continuing with graphic design in 2025, it's not about being perfect. It's about progress, practice, and having the courage to start and to grow. And if you are ready to dive deeper into the wonderful world of graphic design, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on today's video, and also check out the video on screen right now. And until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.